I literally covered my eyes as I was testing my blood sugars after it because I thought they're going to be about, 25 or something, and they were 7. And I stood in shock for about 2 or 3 minutes. I couldn't believe it. So I didn't take it, completely seriously until I bought the book and thought, right, this is working now. I'm gonna do this morning till night, and that's what I've been following for it altogether probably about 10 months now. But I've taken it really serious over the past 3 or 4 months, and that's when I've seen the most dramatic changes. So yeah, it's been really good. It's been amazing, actually. Very, very grateful that I came across Mastering Diabetes when I did, because I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have had a clue on what to do or how to go back. It would have just been very, very scary until really, and the reality of it was I'd completely lose my vision, and not be able to kind of see my children again, or my husband, or do everyday activities. So it's been an absolute lifesaver. It really has. So yeah. Okay, so after being diagnosed with retinopathy, I started looking at different ways. I thought, right, I'm going to take matters into my own hands and start looking at food and nutrition. I wasn't educated at all on how I should be eating as a diabetic, so I was eating really bad food that I thought at the time was actually okay. So I started getting bad conditions and symptoms of being diabetic. At that point, I was diabetic for 23 years. So being diagnosed with retinopathy has been the scariest thing that I've ever had to go through for me and my family. It's not just been myself that's gone through it, it's been my children and my husband who've been, they've been so supportive. But to watch me go blind last year, and not do, I couldn't do basic things like cook and clean, and even take my daughter, walk her to school. Life just kind of turned upside down, and it's been awful. So I refused to kind of let that defeat me in a way. It was, no, I'm actually going to find what I need to do to turn this around. So after my eye surgery, and had laser surgery and an eye operation, I thought, right, I'm not going through this anymore, and started looking on the internet for answers. And I came across Mastering Diabetes on YouTube, and started watching like how to reverse insulin resistance, looking at the testimonials, people saying this is amazing, it'll change your life. I was slightly skeptical at first, because the idea of eating bananas and high carb, like eating a sweet potato, no way, my blood sugars would have been about 30. So I thought, right, I'm actually going to try this out. There's too many people saying it's really good. So I started implementing it kind of one meal a day. I remember making my first sweet potato and butternut squash curry from scratch, and I literally covered my eyes as I was testing my blood sugars after it, because I thought they're going to be about 25 or something, and they were 7. And I stood in shock for about 2 or 3 minutes. I couldn't believe it. So I didn't take it completely seriously until I bought the book and thought, right, this is working now. I'm gonna do this morning till night, and that's what I've been following for it altogether probably about 10 months now. But I've taken it really serious over the past 3 or 4 months, and that's when I've seen the most dramatic changes. So yeah, it's been really good. It's been amazing, actually. My vision is completely back. There's kind of a bit that needs to clear up, but I can fully, I could drive now if I wanted, if I could go back to driving and things like that. I'm so active every day. I'm just, to be honest with you, very, very grateful that I came across Mastering Diabetes when I did, because I wouldn't have known, I wouldn't have had a clue on what to do or how to go back. It would have just been very, very scary until really, and the reality of it was I'd completely lose my vision, and not be able to kind of see my children again, or my husband, or do everyday activities. So it's been an absolute lifesaver, it really has. So yeah. The A1C, I had my bloods done mid-May, and my HbA1c had dropped to 6.6, and they were 10.8 before that. So it was probably about 6 months before that they were 10.8. So it's taken 6 months to kind of drop them. But my blood work, the doctor was in shock. He turned around and said, "What are you doing? Are you on the low carb diet?" I said, "No, I tried the low carb diet and my blood sugars were worse." So he said, "What, high carb? You're actually eating high carb?" I was like, "Yeah, it's plant-based, high carb, nothing processed, no meat, no cheese, no mayonnaise or anything like that." So he just couldn't believe it. He said, "What, fair dues, whatever you're doing, carry on doing it." Because during lockdown as well, he said everyone's A1C's gone up. It's strange that yours has gone down. So I was like, yeah, well, that's good. My weight has gone from, I was 15 stone 8, and I've dropped to 11 stone 3. And to be honest, that wasn't my main focus. So it was definitely, I was determined to reverse my diabetic conditions and complications. But the weight has been it has been a bonus on top of that. So it's dropped. It kind of constantly keeps dropping, not majorly. Now it's kind of slowing down a bit, but I am, I'm still continuing to lose weight even now. And my fasting blood sugars, I'll wake up in the morning now kind of 4.6. I'm not sure what that is converted, but say 4.6 to kind of 5.8. Whereas before, on the low carb diet, they were 16, 17 in the morning. So it was so frustrating seeing numbers like that when I was told by the doctors that that's what I should be eating. So it was just kind of feeling kind of helpless that I was following the right diet that they were suggesting, but my blood sugars were so high. But now there's none of that at all. After meals, they'll just stay steady because I'm using the, insulin timing now as well, which I didn't have a clue about before either. So they don't really teach you things like that. And when I read the book, I just couldn't believe how much stuff I didn't know about a condition that I had been living with for 24 years. I was re-educating myself about it, basically, from going back to step one, and just everything that I'd been I thought that I was doing right was completely wrong. So yeah, it's been good for that as well. I didn't really want to get up in the morning, to be honest with you. So it was kind of it was, you'd kind of roll out in the bed, you'd out of bed, you'd have no energy. You'd need your coffee before you did anything, but it was kind of, I didn't know that it could be different until I started on this diet, and I'm full of energy. I don't stop. If anybody is feeling doubtful, it's just give it a bit of time, and just carry on, just because it gets better and better the more that you do it. When you're diagnosed being diabetic, you're just not told how really to kind of look after yourself, or how you should eat, or how to stop these complications from getting worse. I remember reading books about what's going to happen you know, to my feet and to my blood pressure and heart disease and everything else, and being so scared about it, but having no idea what to do, you know. And that's the worst thing, because you feel completely helpless, and you just think that, you know, that it is all going to happen to you one day, but you don't know what to do about it. So, but yeah, this definitely works.